It's a good thing I have an outlet right now, friends, because as we wrap up every week here on Real Talk, our friends at the DQs, oh yeah, baby, get the studio band ready, Johnny, at the DQs of Northwest Edmonton and Sherwood Park, give us an opportunity to amplify our hottest takes. Yeah, that's right. These are all real emails and YouTube comments from Real Talkers. It's the Flamethrower, presented by the DQs of Northwest Edmonton and Sherwood Park. Okay, I'm showing this to you on my screen. This was our June 3rd episode with Laura Winton and Jim Turk, and we were talking about Alberta's attack on library books, right? So Interested Meow writes in and says, oh, okay, so you guys want more regulation and rules around resource extraction, but less regulation and rules around what our children are being exposed to. Your line of reasoning would have my children have access to pot and alcohol, forced to consume them by trusted adults. Calling safety and age-appropriate exposure censorship is so over the top, I can't tell if you're serious or not, Jesperson. Oh, and professionals in the space? Since when are school librarians a part of a professional association? That from Interested Meow, not a fan of libraries. Hey, how about this one? You remember our episode when we had the education minister on, Dimitrios Nikolaitis, a couple of days later? Because that's how Real Talk rolls. We hear both sides of the story, and then we decide, make our own opinions based on actual information. Well, Lynne writes in and says, what a stupid comment that I heard on Real Talk, that if you don't have kids, you have no say on what books are appropriate. That's like saying I shouldn't have been a teacher because I can't have kids. Lynne says, I was an elementary teacher for 32 years, by the way. Lynne, thank you for your service. How about this one from Karen, who says, Dimitrios Nikolaitis, the education minister, bragging about the assessments from K to grade 3 kids without mentioning that it's pulling teachers out of class to do the assessments. They didn't provide extra staffing to do this. And how much of that extra funding and infrastructure is going to private and charter schools, not to public education? That from Karen. How about this one? Remember our June 4th episode. You remember this one with labor lawyer Dwayne Choman, who was giving us insight into the Canada Post strike? Alberta Gengar says, I could not imagine gleefully talking about pushing workers to bend who are trying to get a better deal, crushing union certifications, stringing striking workers out for as long as possible. Workplaces get the unions they deserve, and guys like Dwayne make me sick. That from Alberta Gengar. What about this one from Andre, who says, hey, it may not be important to those of you in Alberta, but there's been support in Eastern Canada for a pipeline long before anybody started talking about separation. Many of the people we know are in this camp. However, says Andre, as usual, it's those who speak the loudest and with the greatest passion that get all the attention. We were never asked. The question seemed best avoided by those who lead us. That from Andre in Eastern Canada. And what about this one from Jeff, who says, Jespo, here's one for the Flamethrower. The Premier, Danielle Smith, said one reason for record high youth unemployment is young people aren't getting driver's licenses when they're 16 anymore. She mentioned getting her own license when she was 16. Even young people with licenses must be finding it difficult to afford their own vehicle, partly because of auto insurance rates, which have only been increasing to insane levels. And what's her government been doing about that? Jeff says, I didn't get my license till I was in my 20s, mostly because I grew up in the city and didn't mind taking transit, but more than that because I knew it would be a long time before I could save up enough money to afford a vehicle. That was 20 years ago, says Jeff. I can't imagine what it's like for young people now. That from Jeff. You can fire up your Flamethrower anytime to talk@ryanjesperson.com or leave a comment on one of our YouTube episodes. The Flamethrower is proudly presented by the DQs in Palisades, Namao, Newcastle, Westmount, and Baseline Road. Oh yeah, and you'll find them on the 10th hole, serving dilly bar shooters at the Real Talk Golf Classic on June 19th. We love you guys. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you Monday.
Go Oilers!